It's been nearly 30 years since Amy Lynn Bradley disappeared without a trace, and yet her story is capturing the attention of the world once more, this time through the lens of Netflix's newly released true crime documentary. As this heartbreaking cold case reemerges into public discourse, so do the haunting questions that have plagued her family, the FBI, and countless amateur sleuths for decades. The tragic mystery began in 1998 during what was supposed to be a relaxing Caribbean vacation. Instead, it spiraled into a lifelong nightmare for the Bradley family, a journey of uncertainty, pain, and relentless searching. A morning that changed everything. It was just before dawn, around 5:30 a.m., when Amy's father last saw her alive. She was sitting on the balcony of their cabin aboard the Royal Caribbean cruise ship Rhapsody of the Seas, docked near Curacao. When he awoke again at 6 a.m., she was gone. The ship was still docked, but Amy had vanished without a single clue left behind. No footprints, no struggle, no goodbye. A frantic search followed. Her family combed every inch of the ship, hoping against hope that she had simply wandered off. But that hope quickly turned to dread. According to Amy's father, the ship's captain informed them that the FBI had searched the vessel, and Amy wasn't on board. That moment sealed their worst fears. Amy Lynn Bradley was missing. The emotional toll on the Bradley family, the emotional devastation of losing Amy was and remains unimaginable. But for her family, especially her parents and brother Brad, it was made even more difficult by the weight of unanswered questions and unconfirmed sightings. "It's been incredibly hard," Brad shared in a recent interview. "Losing my sister was one thing. Watching my parents live through that pain every day, even now, decades later, that's another level of heartbreak. Even now, years after the disappearance, certain conversations still stir powerful emotions in the family. The pain hasn't faded. If anything, it's become a constant, quiet companion." Netflix documentary ignites global interest. True crime fans around the world are now tuning into Amy's story thanks to a new Netflix documentary that sheds fresh light on her disappearance. The show delves into the baffling case with a level of depth and compassion that has reignited interest across social media and mainstream outlets alike. The documentary explores every known theory, from the straightforward to the sinister. It combines interviews with family members, FBI investigators, and legal experts to revisit each possible scenario. One major focus is the cruise ship's conduct after Amy went missing. The documentary doesn't paint a flattering picture. Many viewers were struck by the cruise line's apparent lack of urgency and their business-as-usual attitude, even as a young woman had seemingly vanished from under their watch. What really happened to Amy Bradley? 1. Accidental fall from the balcony. Former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, appearing on a national news segment, suggested that the simplest explanation may tragically be the correct one. "In cases like this," she said, "Occam's razor often applies. The simplest theory is usually the right one. Based on the facts we have, it's plausible Amy accidentally fell overboard." Coffindaffer acknowledged this theory is painful for the family, but it's one that has remained on the table due to the lack of concrete evidence suggesting foul play on board. 2. Abduction and human trafficking. However, another widely discussed theory is far darker, that Amy was kidnapped and forced into human trafficking. Former U.S. Attorney William Ehlenfeld believes this scenario is entirely possible, citing suspicious sightings, disturbing photographic evidence, and even behavior on the part of cruise ship staff that raises serious questions. One particularly compelling point is a photograph that surfaced years after Amy's disappearance. The FBI conducted forensic analysis on the image, which appeared to show a woman bearing a strong resemblance to Amy on a known adult website. Though inconclusive, the image added weight to fears that she may have been sold into a trafficking ring. Adding to the suspicion, her brother Brad recalled a disturbing interaction with a member of the cruise ship's band. This man approached Brad before any public announcement about Amy's disappearance had been made and expressed condolences. How would he have known she was missing? Although the FBI cleared this individual of any wrongdoing, Brad and many others remain uneasy about the encounter. 3. Stockholm Syndrome. The documentary also touches on a chilling psychological theory. If Amy was indeed abducted and has been alive all this time, she may be suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, a condition where captives develop emotional bonds with their captors. This might explain why, despite alleged sightings, she hasn't contacted her family or tried to escape. International hurdles and jurisdictional challenges. Even with the FBI involved, solving a crime that occurred in international waters, especially one involving a foreign port like Curacao, adds layers of complexity. As Coffin Daffer explained, the FBI lacks jurisdiction without full cooperation from local authorities. Legal attachés can only act in an advisory capacity, offering support and resources. Ultimately, it's the local government that must lead any investigation, which complicates efforts to get definitive answers. Could public interest help solve the case? The Netflix series may not have introduced new evidence, but it has done something arguably just as important. It has reignited global interest. With millions of viewers now familiar with Amy's story, there's renewed hope that someone, somewhere, might come forward with a vital clue. This could be someone who spotted her on the island of Curacao in the early days after her disappearance, or perhaps someone who sees her now, if she's still alive. Ehlenfeld is hopeful that public exposure could finally bring resolution. It might not be someone from the cruise, he explained. It could be someone who sees her today and realizes who she is because of the show. That call could change everything. But he also acknowledged the danger. If Amy is indeed being held, her captors might become more cautious now that the spotlight is so intense. Sightings and evidence over the years. Over the decades, multiple reports have surfaced, suggesting Amy may still be alive. Witnesses have claimed to see her in Curacao, in Caribbean brothels, and even in Europe. None of these sightings have been definitively verified, but each one added fuel to the hope that she could be rescued. Amy's family has worked tirelessly to follow up on every lead, often paying for private investigators and traveling internationally to chase down even the slimmest possibility. One of the most credible leads came when a former U.S. Navy member claimed he had encountered a woman in a Caribbean brothel years after the disappearance. The woman reportedly identified herself as Amy Bradley and begged for help before being quickly whisked away by unidentified men. Despite this and other compelling sightings, Amy's whereabouts remain unknown. Why this case resonates. So many true crime stories fade from public memory after a brief wave of coverage. But Amy's story endures, for its mystery, its emotional weight, and its haunting possibility of a still living victim waiting to be found. Her family's unwavering fight, year after year, has kept hope alive. And now, with Netflix's powerful storytelling amplifying their voice, they may finally be reaching the audience large enough to crack the case wide open. Amy's disappearance touches on universal fears, of losing a loved one, of being taken from safety, of confronting a system that may be unequipped to help. But it also highlights resilience, a family's refusal to give up, even in the face of unimaginable odds. What happens next? While the series may bring attention, real progress still hinges on evidence, tips, and international cooperation. The Bradley family is urging anyone with information, even a vague memory from the cruise or a blurry recollection of a face in a crowd, to contact the FBI or local authorities. In the meantime, they continue to hope that somewhere Amy is alive, and that someone will help bring her home. Amy Bradley's story is a chilling reminder that not every mystery gets solved overnight, or even in decades. If this story moved you, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.